Twisters. Ah, man. Another fight. This card has a bit of like those kind of fights that are pretty close. Um, Mauricio Ruffy versus Benoit the Saint Denis is one of those fights that I feel like are pretty close. You know, I don't. It's crazy for me to even be saying this, to be saying this particular fight has the potential to be close because Benoit Saint Denis looked horrible in his last fight, and yet I still do feel like he has the skills that are necessary in order to give what do you call him, Mauricio Ruffy problems. Right, Mauricio Ruffy is not good defensively as far as the wrestling goes. However, I've seen Jin Silva perform dominantly against Bryce Mitchell. I mean, he submitted Bryce Mitchell. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't looked at Gene Silva's career enough, or I haven't delved or dived deep enough, which is something I think I should do once I get the equipment that I need. I think I'm going to start profiling athletes just to get a better understanding of their skills and what they can do, which would make it a lot more easier to actually predict fights. But I don't feel like there's any history in Jin Silva's past where he was this elite wrestler and he was able to do what he did to Bryce Mitchell. And sure, Bryce Mitchell is not the very best wrestler, but I mean, he's able to do what he wants to some extent with guys like Dan Ige, Saeed Nomagomedov, right? So I feel like that in itself is a very important thing to actually consider. It feels like whatever they're doing at the Fighting Nerds, as far as preparing their athletes for fighting against the wrestling. I mean, even Carlos Prates, I think his defensive wrestling has improved significantly. Rufi is one of those guys where I feel like he has a massive hole on the ground, and even the striking is not very technical. I know in his last fight he knocked out Bobby Green, which is honestly very impressive. But before that, he was fighting this guy. Who's this guy who was um, what's this guy's name? I forgot. The Mexican guy who was difficult to actually, who's known for his durability, and it's difficult to knock him out apparently. Carlos was it? No, it's not Carlos Leo. No, no. It was some other guy. My laptop is doing its stupid things. So in that fight at UFC, I think it was it UFC Noche, but it was last year. He was fighting this guy, and a lot of people were saying, and I hate repeating this, but it's important for me to actually try to make the point that I want to make. Leading up to this particular fight with this guy, this Mexican guy, a lot of people were saying this guy is going to knock out this dude in one round and everything like that. And I was like, I feel like this is going to be a lot more competitive than people actually think it's going to be, right? And it was competitive, and people started to say, "Oh man, maybe Rufi's not as good as we thought," and whatever the case is. And I was like, you know what? It's partially that, and partially maybe because the other guy is actually pretty decent or has a good chin, right? I think Mauricio Rufi is like Caio Baralho, but at least Caio Baralho is able to get away with not being excellent because he's fighting at middleweight. For Mauricio Rufi, it's kind of going to be problematic if you're not elite at lightweight because almost everyone that even like everyone, even the most average athletes are extremely talented. I feel like Mauricio Rufi is susceptible to be taken down. To be honest, I feel like what's his name, Benoit and Dennis might have a path to victory. Unfortunately, Dennis has a horrible cardio. We saw that when he was fighting Dustin Poirier. He was doing really well. He was doing whatever he wanted with Dustin Poirier. And in the second round, wasn't even in the second round. I think it was the second round or late in the first round. He started to give up, basically. He allowed himself to be finished. He looked horrible in his last fight. And the other guy was coming in on short notice, and still, he didn't look like a future champion. And Mauricio Ruffy looks like a future champion, and that's one of the reasons why I picked Mauricio Ruffy. On the feet, Ruffy looks incredible. Um, but man, he needs to work on his ground game, man, because I feel like he's going to have a serious problem. And I feel like Benoit and Denis has what it takes. Just that I don't have confidence. I don't have confidence in what do you call him? I don't have confidence in Benoit and Denis's cardio. I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm not picking him. I also don't have confidence in his speed, right? It's not just about cardio. It's the fact that I don't feel like Benoit Saint Denis is that fast, and I think it's going to come back to bite him because I think Rufi has what it takes to actually knock him out. I just hope that Rufi is going to be able to avoid the grappling exchanges because that's one of the things that actually worry me about this particular fight. I know everyone is high on Mauricio Rufi, and everyone is like, no, he's going to knock out Benoit Saint Denis. I don't want to lie. I feel like Denis might get the upset. I don't want to lie. Just that his cardio. If it wasn't for his cardio, I'd probably pick Benoit Saint Denis. Just that he's also very slow. It's not just about cardio. He's also very slow. But if somehow Benoit Saint Denis has worked on his cardio and he somehow doesn't look as slow as he did in his last fight, I think Rufi is going to be in a serious problem. But yeah, my official pick and my subscribers' official pick is Mauricio Rufi. He might find the knockout. He's faster, more athletic, and hopefully his takedown defense has improved. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not very confident in this particular pick. I feel like a lot of people are overlooking Benoit Saint Denis. I was one of those people up until I looked closer into this fight. And I realized that Mauricio Rufi has a couple of holes, especially on the ground. Even his striking. I mean, he has excellent striking. I'm not saying he doesn't have good striking. I just feel like there are certain kind of styles that can give him problems, and I feel like Benoit Saint Denis is one of those styles. Right. Once again, if Saint Denis had a bit of cardio and was a little bit faster, I'd probably pick him. But because of bad cardio and the lack of speed, I feel like Mauricio Rufi has a shot at knocking him out. Emil, you're on a great path in life. Never let anyone say anything different. Shout out to you, man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Um, so yeah, that's my analysis. My computer is somehow acting up, but we're going to be replacing it next week, so it's fine. Let it act out. We don't need it anymore. I'm kidding. If it shuts down today, I don't know what I'm going to do. but but yeah, I won't have these problems starting next week. I'm honestly tired of dealing with this. Like it closed the window of the information that I was supposed to use to break this fight down. But fortunately, I have enough information on these particular fighters. Anyway, I have one fight left. Let's go to that. My subscribers and I are officially picking Mauricio Rufi. For me personally, I'm not that confident. My subscribers are very confident. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I love and appreciate all of you. Until next time, let's go to the last fight. I think it's Bellagio. For today, I'm going to break down every single fight every single day up until it's 13 fights. So if you want to join me, don't forget to subscribe. Once again, we are improving the equipment next week, so no more bad quality. No more like I'm going to look a lot better even on screen. So I can't wait for next week. 4K. So yeah, to all those who've been here and who've been joining me with my low quality, I love and appreciate all of you guys. Let's go to the last fight. Deuces.